Good morning. Today we're going to be taking a look at XRP, some historical price action, liquidity, and the Sigma coin. So, all right, we're still grinding through the bottom levels here as we've completed what appears to be the fifth wave to the downside of the corrective flat. And now we've got an impulsive wave 1, a corrective wave 2, and now we're looking to see what this structure was going to play out. So we were surmising that this was going to be a corrective wave 2 that was going to be a 5-3-5, but now we've actually, because we've been hanging down here long enough, it looks like we're leaning towards a corrective flat structure that played out here with an ABC to the downside, or possibly a larger triangle playing out. But no longer is this structure of this ABC here, we've gone way too far back down, which is a good thing because we wanted to see this gap close that was right here because we had missed it, and then now we're filling this gap. So this is finally getting this volume, this price inefficiency filled and completed here. So now we can kind of basically surmise that we have a count where we actually do have another 5-wave move to the upside in a smaller degree based off of this one. And now right here, we're already looking for the corrective ABC down, and it might even be another flat again, where we may end up doing another mini flat where we have the one, I do see this region right here as being kind of like a corrective ABC. So we'll have to watch how this price action plays. But right now we can maybe see this 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, there's your 3, 4, and 5. So we can maybe see that. It might get deeper, might even come down into this region right here. But for the most part, I feel that we're getting close to this structure kind of completing, and we might just be meandering here for a while. So that's kind of the structure that we're looking at this. Now, we could be also looking at this as a triangle where we end up doing a larger degree, A, B, and then another C leg that sets the lower high, and we have to go in and deal with this larger degree thing. So let's just grab all these guys and throw them over here. And so the next thing that we're ultimately looking for is how is this triangle going to play out if we do have one, right? So we would be looking at the highs and the lows being supported. So you'd be looking at some type of corrective move here where we would have something along these lines, and that triangle would play out like that, right? So, but the good news is that I don't think it's a triangle. I think we're instead looking more at a flat structure that's playing out, and then a wave 1 and wave 2 completion of the next leg. And so we're looking for the impulsive move. So invalidation of this would be that for anybody who's looking to kind of buy and sell for a higher price, invalidation right now would be that we would want to make sure that we maintain a higher low by not losing this level down here at 198. So that is our view if this was a wave 1, wave 2, and now this is wave 1, wave 2 of the next degree, and we're going to start becoming impulsive and just shoot our way out of here with this 5-wave move to the upside. So something along these lines would be great if we could do that. So, all right, just similar to this basically. And then we'll watch key levels to make sure that we don't invalidate with an A, B, C of a more complex view. So, but anyway, that's how XRP is playing out right now. So historically, I wanted to jump back to in time and kind of go over things. So we were anticipating this move where we would have an ABC up and then a pullback. We did not get that. So we're instead going to the shorter, lower route first, and then eventually breaking out from here. Now, historically, this was what we've looked at in the past. This is what Bitcoin did back in 2017, where it ended up doing an ABC down, an ABC up, and a 5-wave move down. So you can see it here, this ABC, ABC, and then a 5-wave move to the downside. Into that moment of the completion of wave 5 for Bitcoin, we ended up also seeing XRP falling into that move. And it wasn't until Bitcoin got back up and started breaking out above, kind of mid-range here of this 5th wave, did we actually see XRP take off. So it was right into that moment right there, just as it started breaking out to mid-range, right? So if we infer this over to where we are now on Bitcoin, we would say if this scenario played out the same as 2017, we would be expecting that if our 5 waves are actually in and we're done with this move now, which it still potentially can go lower, if that is in fact the case and we are finished with it, with a return of Bitcoin to this level right around here, right around 103, we would be expecting that with the 5 waves being in, a 103 return would make it so that XRP would actually just go out of the gates, right? So it's just kind of in that, just below that last peak right here of wave 4 before 5th. So that's kind of what we'll be looking at to see if we can either come down one more for Bitcoin to a lower level, and we have to still roll over one more time, or do we do it with some kind of triangle pattern where we do this as our wave 4, so this whole thing becomes the wave 4, and it's a longer drawn out level, then we break down. Or are we already done and there's some kind of 5 wave count in here that I can't see yet that leads us to, because this is not a wave 3, so it's definitely not that. So maybe we can infer that there was like wave 3 ended here and there was a 5th right here, and then we just go. Regardless, if we start getting back up to 103 as a price action, or if this goes lower up to 1091 again, that would mean that XRP would actually start popping off, okay, and running into its next leg. Now, historically, this is also really cool because during the same orange structure that I'm overlaying here for XRP, let's see how that looks with our current cycle. So here's the current cycle, and this is the same exact fractal that we are seeing here for the XRP move that was in orange, and we have this one now, the old Bitcoin move put above it. And you can see how this fractal kind of plays out pretty nicely if you align it with the completion of wave 3 before the flat of wave 4 on the cycle move, okay? But what I liked about this is that with all of this breakdown, with all of this kind of view that you're seeing all these kind of similarities in how the fractal plays out, right? Breakouts right here at the same time, breakouts up to the same levels at the same time. What I actually really think is cool is that if you bring this and you kind of overlay that, what is this section right here? So let's zoom in and look at this real fast. So we actually have a stretched out view of this ABC down, ABC up, and then 5 wave move to the downside. So we have an ABC down, ABC up, and a 5 wave move to the downside, which we can only really see at this point, maybe 5 waves. Let's see if we could do it again here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. Yeah, there's probably one more low. We're going to probably see one more low come in, matching a similar structure as what we had on this fractal back in the day. So let's pull this over here. Whoa, we're going to get excited. Okay, so this fractal view of this one more low basically lines up with what it is that we're doing, which is that, we're kind of already in the area. So, I mean, it may already be done, possibly just based off of this momentum view, right, of this kind of crossing over fractal. 1, 2, 3. Maybe it's finished. So anyway, but if we were able to get back up to this level, reclaim it, and continue the breakout, that is the exact same time that XRP did the move. But you can see that this level here is kind of similar to this one right here, and this level here is shorter, but similar to this level right here. And you have this grind up in the middle with an ABC in the middle, and there's your ABC in the middle, right? And so the cool part is that even the Bitcoin fractal from 2017 is matching the current price action that we did for this current run of 2025, and we're seeing it manifest. Oh boy, we're seeing it manifest right here in the same area where the exact same spot, a flat manifests after doing a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this is a wave 2, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave 3, 4, and then your final 5th pops off. So there you go. And then in there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's your parabolic run. And so this cycle has been extended if we're using this fractal. I mean, it is definitely drawn out this portion of the move, and yet it's still the same flat playing out here for everything that we have, because the peaks and the valleys of each of our stops match of what we're ultimately looking at for the breakdown and the breakout for for Bitcoin. And with that, we will see a moment where that return to everything's going to be okay, guys, is when XRP goes wee. And so that's what ultimately what we're looking for. And then it actually really cools off into this larger move here. So you can see that once we get to this level, we have all that for Bitcoin. And when we get to, let's see if I can, there we go. And when we get to this level, XRP would go massively, and then Bitcoin gets up here, and then it just doesn't do anything until the very end is what it ended up doing. So you can see we miss all of that price action until a retrace is that final leg, right? So it's the high comes in, the retrace comes in, and then XRP finishes. But until then, you have a long window of chop where XRP does nothing until Bitcoin catches up almost. So it's definitely going to be a very weird cycle as we see this kind of play out where, again, XRP outperforms, and then does nothing for the length of the remainder of the Bitcoin show. And then is like, oh, hey, guys, at the end. So thought that was pretty fascinating. And we have our Sigma coin. So Sigma is working on still this kind of higher low structure. If this is the rising wedge, and if this is the ABC, we have set the higher low. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Market cap, my goodness, 694. So definitely been a very bloody long journey. But if we get anything remotely close to this type of performance of XRP, where it just goes all eyes on XRP, and everyone's like, whoa, that could be a huge catalyst for running up this next leg of our move. And you can even almost imagine that this is everything that we've just done in price action for the last year, and we'd have this explosion, a long wait, this explosion, a long wait, and then ultimately these final legs taken off because the cycle has expanded for sure. But this is the same flat that we were looking for back in 17 that occurred here in 24 and 25 for Bitcoin. So now we just need the expansion to play. So, all right, hopefully that was helpful this morning, and we'll check in tomorrow.